Woohoo! Track 18 of House Share, the house album that we've been sitting through this crap now for 18 episodes, broadcasts, tracks, 18 tracks, broadcasts. Anyway, it's 18 of these crap things, and we've only got 2 more to go. However, Gatehouse, which is track 18, is a bit of a treat. It looks like I'm getting to the end of this album and I've thrown caution to the wind. So this is another modern outlook of a track. I think it's supposed to be another melodic. Do you know what? I hope I'm saying that right. A melodic tune. It's nice. It does. I think it does have a bit of the 90s feel with the Vox hits, which is kind of inevitable with a sort of homage to the 90s house album. So yeah, and it's got that dreamy vibe. So yeah, another surprise track for me. I'd sort of forgotten, but as soon as I heard the piano come in, I remember that. I mean, the piano is back in this tune, but it's not a Joey Negro one. Again, this is the modern feel. So as I say, it's more melodic, if that's the right word. But yeah, and it's nice. I think it's another. We haven't got very many. I purposely toned down the tempo of this album because, like I said, I used to pitch up everything. Back in the day, though, you know, we were a lot more energetic for whatever reason. Youth. We were youthful and we're a lot more energetic. So this one is 132 BPM. Why 132? I don't know. There's a couple of 132, but the fastest tune in the whole album is my sneaky bit of a novelty tune, Housemate, which is 135. What I moved on, I think I was like being a bit too regimented. You know, this is, as I said, this was my coming of age test. Can I make 20 tunes, supposed to be 16, but 20 ended up, that you could listen to, compared to, I think in my first year, I think I made 20 tunes back then and I thought they were great, but in reality they stunk. Hang on, I think I've got the list here. Let me just count. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, there's 20 there. Flipping out. And I think there's a couple more. I think it's possible there's 25, 30. I mean, there must be some flipping heck. There's a lot there. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see those. Is it possible that I made 40? Wow. I mean, I definitely need to revisit those 40 tunes, man. Can you? And they're crap. I mean, I'm tempted to play one now. Would it pick it up? I mean, I'm not using the right software now. Should I just play one of these old ones? And you're only gonna. I've got a Mac Mini. It's gonna sound crap, whatever it is. I could play bloody Robert Miles' Children on this, and it would sound crap. So I'm gonna. What's this? I'm gonna see. Let's just see what happens. But yeah, it's. Oh, now it's coming through the headphones. Let me see if I put headphones over the mic, whether you can hear that. I'm putting the headphones over the mic. I hope that wasn't a waste of time. I can hear it sort of coming out, and it sounds alright. Here, try again. My God, that. Oh, actually, it sounds a bit better if you actually put the headphones on, but still. And weirdly, I've got a date on that, so I must have started a bit sooner than I thought. Let's stop that. But that's 2021. I think a lot of the problems with that. I wonder if you can hear. I hope you can hear that. Otherwise, I'm now going to spend the rest of this episode talking about that crap, and you're not going to. I'll tell you what. I can fix that in post. If you didn't hear it, I can actually. I've just got to remember it was that one, and I can see that it's called samples. I think that was the first time I used a sample when I was teaching myself. Anyway, that it sounds rough. It's like. None of it's mixed down. I didn't even ever. I mean, I've got a rough idea about mixing down now, so things aren't clashing with themselves. But back then, I I was still trying to figure out what the simplest knobs do, which I've just sort of got my head round, putting stuff together. And everything I made back then, everything was over 140 BPM, which is just, there's nothing wrong with 140 BPM, but it was just everything, and it was all at once. Everything was played. Well, it was punk. It was punk dance music, and there's no place for that, or is there? Have I just created? I don't want a new genre. I can't bear all these genres. It's just house. Everything is house. It's variation of house, except trance and drum and bass, because that's different, or anything else that's really different. I can't think of. But everything's house. That's it. Phew. Glad we stopped that. So yeah, so now I've got a bit of a better handle on that. So I wanted to. So moving away from these 40 crap tunes, that's why I started this album, to see if I could consistently make the same kind of tune, different tempos, a bit more thought put into it, make it a bit more melodic, if that means musical. I really hope that means melodic, not boring. What's the word I'm getting it confused with? Again, put it in the comments if you can. I probably know all this stuff because I'm a genius, but I'm pretending I don't, just get you to leave comments because I think that's good for the algorithm. So yeah, don't think for a moment I'm an idiot, because I'm not. I'm playing 5G chess like Trump. Is it 5G or was that? No, that's something else. Anyway, I'm a genius. If he is, I'm bleeding professor. Anyway, let's move on, because that's now dated what I'm doing. Because in the year 3000, when people are listening to this, they're going, what's a trump? Well, where I come from, a trump is an unpleasant smell. And, it still is. Well, there we go. There's handy. So back to track 18, Gatehouse, and it's a nice, as I say, it's a nice dreamy look to the future. So trying to please you guys, the 2 of the 8 that are under 50. Look at me bragging again. I've got 2 under 50s. I've got 2 people watching, listening. This is broadcast. This is radio. This is not. I'm purposely not putting any moving pictures in this. I've made, if you're running through the park, the woods, or you're doing the painting, you can't see this, I've made a nice picture of a radio in a sort of night on a table, wooden table. I've actually made all of this. Not the radio picture I did. I don't use AI, but I do get AI to make still pictures sometimes, so I don't fall foul of copyright, because you can use AI stuff. So I didn't have a 1950s looking radio-y type transistor, which is what I wanted. And I made the tabletop that it sits on, and I've got some wallpaper, and that's just because you have to have something on there, otherwise it'd be a blank screen. So I wanted to make that. So there is that, in case you're running through the park or painting. And the light on the radio dial slightly glows in and out. I was going to have it as I spoke, that it would change, but that's the image, if you could see it. But you don't need to see it, because you're running through the park, and this is just a radio broadcast, and that's why I used a picture of a radio. It's brilliant, isn't it? I'm nothing if not full of cliches, like calling my house music after house puns, and my radio broadcast, I'm using a picture of radio so it looks like it's a real radio and it's actually a podcast. But anyway, I digress again. And yeah, so as I say, we're now coming up to the end of the album, and I am feeling a little bit glad. Mixed feelings, because I'm worried now that people have become addicted to these episodes, because they are clearly like the best thing on YouTube, and like those TV shows I've been reading about, it's Stranger Things and all these things on stuff I can't afford, so I don't have any idea, but people feeling lost when they're not on. And some TV show about maths, I mean, I can't believe that's so popular, but people are getting upset because they can't find out about the next maths equation, I'm guessing. I mean, how that works, I don't know. So I don't really want people to be getting upset because, there's no more episodes of House Share, the album, and, episode broadcasts. So, there is that bittersweet side to it. So I suppose, we need to make the most of the last 2 episodes, really. And I haven't really had a look at some of these to see how they're going to edit down. I'm hoping they're going to be around 20 minutes. But I know there's a lot of pauses and me stumbling over words that I'm probably going to cut out to make it more bearable or quicker to get through. So, I'm hoping they're going to be about 20 minutes. I did Google that it's best to make, if you're going for your first ones or something, to make it as like a short thing so people can listen to it during a break or something, which made sense to me, but I can't imagine. I'm old-fashioned, if I'm at work, I've got the radio on all the time on, and if I'm in an office, well, to be fair, in my job, you can't really, you're with people all the time, so, you don't really get breaks like that because you're either on your way to an appointment with someone or you're with someone, so, it would be very rude not to give them the attention they deserve. That's your job. So, but I do have other jobs where I'm like in the past, like driving lorries or doing building work, whatever. I've done everything, mate. I'm not kidding. You put in the comments a job, and I've probably done it. I mean, I've worked in fashion. I've worked in I've worked overseas. I've worked in all. I don't want to give you clues in case you try and catch me out, but I've done all sorts. I mean, I've even been a shepherd. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Loads of stuff. Half of it I can't even remember. I've worked in factories, warehouses, offices. I've had all sorts of jobs. So yeah, and a lot of them you can't listen to radios, and a lot you can. And that's what I'm used to, radio. I don't think I've ever, I think once upon a time there was a thing called an iPod. Is that right? Because I am a Apple user. Yeah, it was iPod, wasn't it? Flipping out. Can you imagine forgetting that? And I think you could download like iPods on podcasts and things onto that. That's right, before bloody phones came along, wasn't it? It was like a Walkman. Bloody hell, Walkmans. God, how things have changed. Can't fancy forgetting the iPod. iPod. Yeah, that was wicked. I never had one. I couldn't afford the blue thing, but I know people who did, and they were pretty cool. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, I digressed again. Look, I want to move on now to track 19, which is Safe House, and then we're in the home straight, then on to Your House. So take a listen to Gatehouse, see what you think. It's got a modern feel, as I say, and I hope you like it. Leave a comment if you do or you don't.